ones behind Traveling Scato, and that's basically the start of this whole Micronesian dialogue, at least for us. And we wanted to partner with the beautiful Micronesian Viral, Brit and her partner, and to all you beautiful ladies doing your thing, and also hopefully in the future, in the months before us, that we get some of our Micronesian gentlemen up in this space. Let me just do a little introduction on why it's important for the Micronesian dialogue to happen. So me and Chugi's goddess, May May, y'all know her as Chugi's goddess. We're always invited into these spaces to share our experiences or stories, or like, you know, our value, like our culture, right? Things that are important to us, or speak on things that us, the diaspora, are in need of hearing, or in need of for Chuki's women. So we're like, we need to have our own space like this. It's good to have a collaborative, like a collective space for us Micronesians to speak and tell each other stories. So it could be a storytelling platform. It could be a just a place for sharing. I know a lot of us are on the wave of like doing our own thing, and I'm really happy for that. And one of those spaces for us, and me, and being the first of our, we're not the only ones with our own narratives.
Can you hear us, Nels?
Yeah, it's kind of like,
we're not the only ones with, you know, that are Chuki or Micronesian. So we want to have this space. And can you hear me?
yeah,
We kind of lost you a little there.
yeah.
I can hear you now.
Oh, sorry. It's the countryside connection for me. It's a little country.
No worries, no worries. I think you're good now.
Okay, good. So as I was just saying, this is a space that was kind of inspired by us always seeing this like repetitive trend of, hey, do you want to speak here because you're Chukis or you're Micronesian? And it's always in like a, you know, a space that's not for our people, right? Or a space to just like tokenize being the only Micronesian doing your the thing. And we don't want that, right? We want to bring us together and being a collective to host a space to talk about these important issues, or if you don't got issues, important stories, and just bring it into this space. So that's how it kind of started. But the whole collaboration, I think it just makes it even more beautiful because, first of all, I'll just let her introduce herself. Ms. Britt, you can go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we can go on from there. But anyways, all in all, welcome everybody. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
Woohoo! Okay, awesome. So, you know, first of all, thank you guys for joining us here today for our second Micronesian Dialogue. I'm super honored to be, you know, first of all, to be requested to join and co-host these events, virtual events. And let me set my area real quick because it's kind of bothering me. But so yeah, number one thing that kind of, I guess, to help me, what do you call it? My purpose of being here is because I have a big platform within the Micronesian community. I thought, you know, why not join? Because especially, I just love being surrounded by other Micronesian people, talking to them, sharing each other's stories, testimonies, our goals, our dreams. And basically, it's very rare that I get to do so, you know, especially during this pandemic. So I just really appreciate that you guys took the time to listen to all these stories, have me co-host with these two beautiful ladies, May and Nels. So I'm really excited for our guests who are going to speak today. I'm sure they have some great things to say. I'm excited for the stories that they're about to, you know, the experiences that they're going to share from their side. And I'm sure that other Micronesian women, men, even children, adults will be inspired by it. So it's very casual today. please don't be nervous, be yourself. And basically, yeah, I just really appreciate being here. I'm actually to, I didn't really introduce myself. So yeah, I'm Brittany, kind of all over the place. I'm from, my mother, she's from the islands of Yap. So she's from Rumong, and my dad is from the islands of Koshai. So he's from Tafansak and he's from Welong. And basically, I'm just here to help and here to network and, you know, fellowship with all of you Micronesian people. And our people are so underrated. So I really love taking part in our community. And to introduce the next person, I guess I'll go with Harmony. So you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I want to first start off by saying thank you. Thank you guys for having me. Um, I don't I don't really know what to say with this introduction, but I guess I'll say my name. My name is Harmony Yomai. I'm from, my mom is from Chuk and my dad is from Yap, but I was born and raised in Chuk. So I say that I'm Chukis, but I'm also Yapese. I'm currently living in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'm a PhD student at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. I guess that's it.
Thank you, Harmony. If I can just budge in for a little bit. For the introduction, you can say your name, your island, and last time we had favorite food. If you want to use that, you go ahead. But this time, what are you doing for self-care?
For self-care, I'm sleeping in more. I've tried to at least take one day off from work during the week. Like I try to, I have so much things going on, so I try to just work throughout the whole week, but now I've realized that that's not a good thing. So I've tried to take one whole day off from work and just watch TV, do a little skincare routine, and maybe drink a little bit.
All right, so yeah, thank you, Harmony, for joining us today. We're excited to hear from you more later on. And I'm gonna introduce our next speaker, or she'll be speaking later on, but you can go ahead and introduce yourself. She goes, I know her legal name is Sanyana, and she also goes by Tsunami. So go ahead and introduce yourself, girl.
Hi guys, my name is Sanyana, but I go by Tsunami. Family all know me by Tsunami, but Sanyana, Tsunami, Joseph. I'm Kosrayan and Pohnpeian. And I'm born and raised here in Hawaii. Well, we're already saying our favorite food, because I already got that one down.
Yes, you can go ahead and say your favorite food.
Okay, I just want to say my favorite food is Kosrayan All-Star Soup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And also, what is your favorite, or what are you doing right now for self-care?
For self-care right now? Probably, cleaning. I have so much fun cleaning. So when I like just lay down and just enjoy a clean house, I'm like, yes, I deserve this. That's my self-care.
Awesome. Same here, girl. I love cleaning, and I also love sleeping, Harmony. And so let me give it to, thank you, first of all, Tsunami. Let me pass it over to DeShawn. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, all. My name is DeShawn. I'm from Chuk, and doing for self-care. I'm doing a little skincare. You know what I mean? I just shaved. Did the whole 9, exfoliate, gotta moisturize, hydrate, you know what I mean? Yeah, so thank you.
Thank you, DeShawn. So go ahead and have Bradley introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Bradley, obviously. I'm from the island of Pohnpei, and I'm part Chamorro too. My favorite food would be anything with parrotfish, like just parrotfish in general. Sashimi, doesn't matter what you do with it, it's awesome. As for self-care, I would say I do spend a lot of online time talking with my friends and family, so that's been really helpful for the past few months. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Bradley. Yes, family is definitely self-care. So I got you on that too. I guess we'll go move on to Maymay. I see her, she just hopped on. Can you hear me, Maymay?
I can hear you. Hi, everybody. I'm Maymay. I'm also known as Lahaina professionally. My life is a mess. That's why I'm in my car and I'm zooming in from my phone. But yes, are we doing favorite food?
Favorite food and self-care.
Oh, okay. Oh God, I don't have a favorite food. I love all foods. But right now I'm loving, I think I said this last time, but I'm loving milk breads. I just gotta figure out how to make them. And then self-care, I need to work on that, I think. But I'm one of the co-hosts of this thing. I thought I wasn't gonna be here today because I have a crazy day, but I thought, you know what, why not? I'm gonna pop in. But yes, thank you guys so much for being here. We really appreciate it, especially to our women who agreed to speak with us today and share a little bit of information. If I butcher your name, I'm sorry. Sanyana and Harmony. Harmony, do you like to be called Harmony, or do you want me to call you by your government name?
No, Harmony is fine. I go by Harmony.
Okay.
Thank you for
I'm
asking.
used to Harmony because, yes, I'm used to that one because that's what we called you as a kid. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. And thank you so much, Britt, for leading today's discussion.
No, thank you. Thank you and you're welcome. So I think I forgot to say my self-care. I just agreed with everybody else's one. But I guess things that I'm doing for self-care right now is I'm journaling. Journaling is very therapeutic. It's so much better for me than, you know, venting to other people. Like I love venting to other people, but sometimes I don't like to burden them with my problems and all that stuff. So yeah, I love journaling, and also just spending time with my kids. You know, they make me laugh all the time. And, you know, sometimes they do drive me crazy, but there is what is that called? There's something else, but they keep me sane. So I've been doing those things. I also love my favorite food right now. I just like to eat salmon with furikake. I love it so much. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much some things that I like. And I guess let me double check if there's anyone who hopped on. Nobody so far. But yeah, thank you guys so much again for joining us for our Micronesian Dialogue, our second one today. We have our guest speakers here, Harmony, Yomai, and Sanyana or Tsunami Joseph. And basically, I'll go ahead and start asking them the questions that we came up with. This month's theme is Women's International Month. And, you know, women are powerful. Yes.
Yes.
And so we definitely we want to reserve these spaces for our women to not only talk about their stories, but, you know, our women are super underrated in our community. Like they're such hard workers. They have a lot of perseverance, and, you know, basically I could go on and on about it, but we'll talk about it throughout these questions. And so let me pull up the first question, and that is, what is your definition of woman empowerment? And so I guess I'll go ahead and start with, I'll start with Harmony. What is your definition of woman empowerment?
Women empowerment to me means uplifting and supporting other women, especially those of minority groups and underrepresented places.
Awesome, thank you. And so definitely, what you said, I completely agree with it. You know, women are super powerful, especially the people that we're surrounded by in our community. And so for you, Tsunami, what is your definition of women empowerment?
I think my definition of women empowerment really, like, it does come from community. It started from my roots, really. Like, I come from like a really strong group of women, my aunties, my cousins, my sisters, my mom. So, and that's really like helped me this whole way, like just going through life. I feel like anything that comes my way, I can tackle it because I have this strong group of women. Like, they're always going to make sure that I kill it or whatever I do. And I like, now I really like realize like not a lot of girls have that. And I don't know, but it really helped me. So I like really think like uplifting each other, encouraging each other, like working together, we're so much stronger when we know we have a big group next to each other.
Thank you. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, so it's true that when we're working together, I think we mentioned this in our other dialogue, our previous one, when we're all uplifting each other, it's so much easier to level up, you know, because you have a team, you have people who are supporting you, you have people who will catch you if you fall. And so, yeah, that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for your answers. And if you want anyone to jump in, I'm not sure if, let me see. First of all, I really appreciate that we have men on here.
Yeah, cool.
Yes, I really love hearing from their perspective. And so I guess I'll go with, let me start with Bradley. What is your definition of women empowerment?
Well, to me, women empowerment is, at least from my perspective, is to be able to support and help women in whatever way I can, and to help get their voices out, you know, because especially in our minority groups, they're not really voiced out. Women are mostly supposed to be silent. So I just want to be, my definition would be to help them voice it out and to try to let our entire community know that women shouldn't be silenced. They should, you know, speak their mind. They should do what they want. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Bradley. Yes, women, they shouldn't be silent. You know, they have a voice. Well, just like everyone, they have a voice. And so let me move on to DeShawn. What is your definition of women empowerment?
So you know, just going off of Bradley's speech, that's exactly what I wanted to say. It embodies it. Woman empowerment to me is, you know, recognizing and acknowledging, you know, the importance that women hold in society, especially in our cultures, and teaching other people to recognize this as well and give them the space, you know, that they need, that women need to, you know, not express, but like fully show who they are and what they can do. So thank you.
Thank you, DeShawn. Yes. So we're going to move on to, well, I want to hear from Maymay. Do you want to say something, Maymay? Maymay or Nels?
You didn't hear me, but I was laughing because we're the hosts and we're asking ourselves the questions. But it's all good. I definitely, I want to just emphasize all the response that, you know, y'all have said I totally agree with them. I'm rocking with them. Also to me, woman empowerment, I think to me is knowing it's also like strengthening your individuality as a woman, because really if you're going to empower other women, you have to start with yourself. And for me, I think that's where my journey started. Like I really had to reach within and work on me before I can empower other women. And yeah, and I wasn't here in the introduction, but the reason why I selected the speakers for today is because I know that Harmony is very supportive to women that come. This is just from my observation, right? So she's like a big supporter of like anything that like Chuukese women do, and she's always rooting for Chuukese women that are out there doing their thing. So that really inspires me. And then Tsunami, she has this really cool thing that she started, and it's just this. So if you guys don't know, Sanyana is the co-founder of Sienna Official, the jewelry line that promotes women empowerment for Micronesian women. And so I think to me that's really cool. Like I haven't seen it anywhere, so I just thought that it would be a really cool space it would be really cool to invite you into the space to kind of dig into it more, so yeah. And the two of you inspire me, so that's why. Not just me, but me and my sister. I don't know if she's still on because she's doing a cake delivery while she's on the phone.
I'm on, y'all. I just realized I kept my camera off for a little bit. Can you guys hear me? Okay, so hi again. I just want to say I really appreciate everybody's presence in this space, and also the male perspective, because most of the time when we host spaces like this, not a lot of our men are involved, and that's also the narrative we want to change, right? Because when we talk about who's our woman inspiration or what is woman empowerment mean to you, even the men or even our brothers, they mention their moms, their sisters, their aunties. So everything is connected. We're all connected. And so to the men in this space, thank you for being here. And to the 2, 3, 4 women in here, shout outs. You guys both all inspire me. Harmony and your sister, shout outs. We're friends over on Insta, but we've never met in real life. And also I just recently followed you. I think your name is Tsunami on Instagram, right? Yeah, I recently followed you and I'm like, period. She's out here doing her thing. And that's what we want.
Those guys, I'm about to leave.
It's such a piece. It's such a piece in Salem for me.
I just had to unmute so I can laugh.
Oh, you guys are so funny.
Okay, so the issue with having a sibling on the Zoom is that they will laugh at you when things get a little rough. But okay, so I know that we've answered what women empowerment means to us, but I just want to add up. There's a question that went around on our last dialogue, and it was about who would you say is your woman inspiration and why? And I want to open this space up for anyone who wants to speak, but most definitely our guest speakers.
Okay. It's so hard to like pick one. I really thought so hard about this one, and I was like, this is so hard to pick one. Like, I feel like right now in every stage of my life is a different woman. So it's hard to pick one, but really, I think it's really like the women in my family have been who I really look up to, because just through their experiences and their experiences, I learned a lot from it. It's hard to pick one.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I had a really hard time thinking of this one. And I think it's because I really appreciate uniqueness. And I don't have one person that I aspire to be. I don't have one person that I look up to, like just one person. I think I'm inspired by so many people. Like I want to be a great traveler and travel the world like May. I want to be able to draw and do things like Nellen does. I want to be a great athlete like Jennifer Chang. And, you know, I want to inspire so many young women like Michelle Obama. There's so many things that I aspire to be from different traits from different people. And so I think I was talking to my roommate about this and he was like, oh my gosh, it just all boils down to you inspiring to be your future self. And I was like, oh, I guess that sounds narcissistic, but you're like,
Your best self.
Yeah, you're inspired by so many different people. And that's what I think all of those combined is what inspires me to be my future self, I guess.
Can we just take a moment and snap or give a round of applause for those two answers? I love them. Those are really good answers. I love. Not that this is a test. I do want to okay, I mean, I don't want to expand on it, but I just kind of want to go off of it. So first I'll start with Sanyana. I love that you have a whole team of women behind the jewelry line. Like so that solidified my invitation. I was like, okay, I'm gonna invite her because I think it was International Women's Day when there was this whole brunch with like all this women, and you guys are all the creators. And I mean, I know you guys must be family, right?
Yeah.
And so that's just like the Micronesian thing to do, right? You know, you start with yourself, then you start with your family, and then you go bigger, because I mean, the support really starts in the family for a lot of people. And that was just so beautiful. I loved it.
Thank you.
And
it was so much fun.
Harmony, like, yeah, it was. I think I follow, I'm a creeper, but I follow maybe two other person from the group, and I was like, oh my God, that is so beautiful. But yeah, that was amazing. And Harmony, like, girl, you just gave, like, I just got goosebumps listening to your thing. And whoever your roommate is, you know, give that person $5 because or more.
You hear me snapping for your roommate too?
Because the roommate, oh gosh, yeah, the roommate needs to be in this dialogue.
That was fun. Thank you. But I am very inspired by you guys too, just to put that out there.
Thank you.
I think Nellen already said that we're totally inspired by you and your sister. Did you tell people that you're a twin already, or were you keeping that a secret?
It's not really something I'm proud of. No, I'm just kidding. No, I didn't say it. But
yeah,
yes, I do have a twin.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'm always putting you on the spot, I realize.
It's fine. But she lives in Hawaii. We're not together right now. I'm in Tennessee. She lives in Hawaii. So yeah.
Oh. Did she get all the energy, or
huh?
Is she getting all the energy? You know how twins are.
Really? What do you mean?
Okay. So
I'm probably just very slow. I'm sorry.
Maybe this is like a tricky superstition, but basically, like, between twins, there's one that gets all the energy. And like they're always active and they're like outgoing. I don't know.
Yeah, probably that's her. That's definitely her. And she's more outgoing. She's more she knows more people, and she definitely knows how to talk better than me. So she
Wait,
got
can
the
I
good
just
ones.
can I just or actually I just heard that Calvin was just telling me before this interview, he's like, oh, you're gonna be on an interview with Harmony? That because we just moved into where your sister
I know. She told me, she was like, Calvin is moving into my
I'm now
apartment.
living.
Yeah. Yes. It's
Wow,
so
that's
funny.
so cool.
But yeah.
Small world.
It's a small world and
Sorry,
we're all
guys.
connected.
I didn't mean to take the conversation elsewhere. Sorry, Britt. Go ahead and take the mic from me.
No, it's okay. This thing is not rehearsed. It's what do you call it? It's improv. So yeah, you're good, sis. If
Britt,
any
can
of
I
the
just add
guys,
something?
yeah,
Can I just add something to what the beautiful ladies have said to their woman inspiration? First, those are really beautiful answers, as Maymay had already said. I just want to say that that's the highlight of how we all move through this world, right? Like what you see in me is almost like a reflection of you. And I really appreciate that, Harmony, your roommate taps in to the whole, that's your, better self that you're trying to be. Like, I really appreciate that answer. So we are a reflection of each other. Like, what do you see in other people or inspired to be? That's something that you already have that needs to wake up in you, or that you are working on as we speak. You can take the mic, Britt. Thank you.
that's powerful. That is super powerful. This is why I really love these talks, because we can share each other's wisdom, knowledge, and we can also apply it. Because yeah, I don't know if you guys heard that quote before. Knowledge is key. I honestly think that applied knowledge is key. When we actually apply everything that we've learned from each other. So yeah, that's pretty much why we're here today. And if any of the guys want to go ahead and talk about, sorry, men, you guys want to go ahead and talk about what or who is your woman inspiration? Doesn't have to be one. And also, why is that person your female inspiration? So yeah, either one of you. I guess I'll choose Bradley.
Hi. Yeah. So actually, in my life, I have also a lot of women that I look up to and who I really appreciate from the bottom of my heart. And actually, the women that I have in mind right now, Tsunami actually knows them. Yeah, there's some people on my mother's side. Like there's some my cousins on my mother's side. They are the most hardworking women I've ever met, and they are like really competent. They're really nice, and whatever they want to get done, they really they work hard, their hardest, and then they got it. It's like if they try something, they don't just give it like 50% or any. Like they go all the way. Like they make it really awesome, and that's something I really like. I really love about them, and something I really look forward to having if I work hard enough, as something I really want to work on too. So yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Bradley. Yeah, that is awesome, because what he said, women go all the way. Women are extra. That's the term that people use nowadays, extra. And a lot of people think that it might be a bad thing, being extra and all of that. But I think it's awesome that, once you work to the fullest of your ability, or you can even go beyond, I think that's what really inspires other people, especially other women. So thank you for sharing your answer. We can go ahead. DeShawn, I know you shared one, I think you shared last time, but if you want to share, maybe expand on what you shared last time.
So I don't exactly remember who I said last time. And not to say I was lying or whatever, but Harmony, Sanani, you guys explained it very well. There's like, you get your inspirations from so many different people, and I feel like you have an inspiration for every little thing, and not just inspirations but influences, right? One person I do want to recognize as like one of my biggest inspirations is my Bradley and I's teachers, Sam and Shannon. Sam used to work for, she used to teach us at high school, and then she also worked with the Chuk Women's Council. And now she's working with UN Women. She just finished graduate school at Columbia. She's amazing. She graduated her undergrad summa cum laude. She's amazing. And she's always been, pushing me and the rest of my class to, chase after, whatever we want, chase after our dreams to accomplish big things. So honestly, if it weren't for her, I would not be like, as ambitious as I am today. So thank you.
Thank you, DeShawn. I appreciate that answer. I think it's super important that we recognize the women who we're surrounded by. So I really love, I can't say it enough, I really love how we have been on here. So if anybody else wants to, does anybody else have anything to say about that question? You guys want us to move on to the next one? All right, so the next question is, what are ways that you want to see us Micronesian women rising up together to become trailblazers for our community? And so I guess we can start off with Tsunami.
Wait, let me read that question again. What are ways we want to be trailblazers to, I'm trying to see. What are ways that you want to see us Micronesian women rising up together to become trailblazers for our community? What are ways? I mean, I think we're like starting really small, but like just doing things together really does, like, I don't know. I feel like it was rare, like when we were younger, to have like women so all together. I don't know what I'm saying.
Good.
What are ways just to stand together and to, because we're so much powerful together, and yeah, I think we relay our message all together stronger. You can feel it more. I don't know. I'm not sure how to answer this.
No, that was perfect. Thank you. And I thank you. Yeah,
I appreciate
she
that.
actually sparked like a. Sorry, no, you can go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna add, Tsunami, I really appreciate that you mentioned the whole working together, because we are a collective culture, and we definitely are more empowered, and we accomplish a lot more things when we are working together. So, girl, yes to working together. Period.
Yes, I agree with that on what Tsunami said earlier. Like when we were young, that kind of sparked a memory for me, because it made me realize like, oh crap, she's right. Like when we were younger, there's barely moments when you're with like other girls or younger girls, women, and just coming together and empowering each other. It's mostly just it for me. When I was younger, my parents tried to teach me that, I don't know, it's not their fault, but it wasn't really highlighted in my childhood that women are super powerful, like that they don't get enough credit. And so it's really made me realize like, oh, I'm glad that nowadays women empowerment is such a big thing. Like people want to make sure that it's known, we want people to be inspired by not just men, but women. I don't know if you guys noticed. Well, of course you guys noticed, but nowadays, back in the day, it was just men working. But nowadays it's both women and men. So there's no limits. It's like, I think that's ways that we can rise up and become trailblazers for our community. Is just empowering women also. And also, like Tsunami said, just becoming together as one, because it's so much better to, you're stronger together. So yeah, thank you for that answer. And don't worry about it. You know, everything is off the top of our head. If you're not ready to answer, you're completely fine. So thank you. And Harmony, you can go ahead and put in your answer.
So I just thought about like how ways to make women or to empower women. And I've seen a lot of this through social media from like May May, who always supports other Micronesians business maker or like business people from Micronesia by like sharing their products or like advertising and just putting it out there for people to know. And I think one of the ways that we should become trailblazers for our community is giving constructive criticism and be able to receive those and like accept those criticisms. Like when you are supporting a Micronesian business, be sure to like support it through like letting them know how they can improve on their products nicely, though, not like just criticize the whole product completely, but like give constructive criticisms. And if you're a business person, like be able to read that or hear it and say, oh yeah, you are right, I can improve this by doing that. And it just all comes down to, again, working together, like Sanyana said.
Thank you, Harmony. Yeah, that's definitely, well, communication is key, and that involves a lot of constructive criticism, whether it's, you know, running a business, being a content creator, doing whatever it is that you want to get better at. It involves, you know, communication. And so that's a really great thing to bring up, and something that should be brought up more. And yeah, that's a way that we can all get better. And so thank you, ladies, for answering that question. If you want to go ahead, whoever wants to input their answer, just speak from your heart. I guess we can go with DeShawn.
So the question, you guys kind of cut out when you were explaining the question. It's how we can. Hey, can you repeat the question, please?
No, you're good. Sorry about that. So the question is, what are ways that you want to see us, Micronesian women or men, rising up together to become trailblazers for our community?
I'm sorry about the noise downstairs.
You're good.
Being to become trailblazers, I feel like having spaces like these to where we can, like, you know, just talk about certain issues or different topics, especially ones that are normally just put under the rug. Like, you know, something bad happens, you always just ignore it until it disappears, but it never disappears. So having a space to talk about such things, I feel like it's a great way to, you know, help us become better people and bring us together as a people. You know, we recognize many of the different disparities that we all go through, and I'm speaking in terms of like our cultures and whatnot. Like this, the whole idea of, you know, the inequality, the gender inequality. Like we need to come together to address that, because it's not something that's inherently like totally our culture. It's something that was taught to us by you know, the colonizers, the foreigners, people that come in and that Western influence that really changed the way we see ourselves and how we see the members of our communities. So the Nadine, she was in the last meeting. I forgot her name. I think it was Sogeri. She was part of the Guahan Humanities organization thing in Guam, and she came and she she basically introduced that they're also doing this thing called, they had this 6-week series called the, how is it, the Micronesian converse. It's like a community conversation. That's what it was. And it was just a bunch of people, like Micronesians, who come together, and it's like this one, the space to talk about what's going on. And they have like different texts that they go through, some poems, books, whatever, and they also talk about all these issues that are expressed in these works. And that's another example of like a space to come together and talk about what's going on, the issues that we need to address. And yeah, like I feel like just having a space somewhere to talk to, because we're so used to in our culture where like if something bad happens, we try to hide it as much as we can. So it's a bad habit to make, and it's even worse when it becomes like it becomes internalized as culture. Like something happens, gotta hide it, no one can know about it, even though everybody knows about it already. We have to create the space to talk about these problems so that we can know how to learn from these problems. Thank you.
Thank you, DeShawn. Yeah, I think that's super important. What you brought up is that some ways that we can rise up together is bringing up issues that, especially I understand why people don't want to talk about certain issues because they're sensitive, but sometimes we just gotta, go all in, because it's kind of like a sickness. If you don't take care of it, it's just gonna get worse. You don't bring it up to the doctor, you don't diagnose it. It can't be healed. You can't medicate it. So that was really, really awesome. I'm super glad that you brought that up. And so right now, first of all, thank you guys so much for answering all of the questions that we had. I think that's pretty much it. And so let me see. Did I let Bradley go? Sorry, I just had a brain fart. Not yet?
I don't think so.
Not yet.
You can go ahead. Thank you.
Well, honestly, the first thing that popped up into my mind when you asked that question, the ways to help women be trailblazers, like I don't know exactly how you worded the question, but the first thing that popped up in my mind was, so back in my high school, there was this one elective for our class, and it was exclusively for women, and it was for a STEM. It was for STEM. So it was like their goal was basically to like show that women too can also do be involved in STEM programs and all that. And I saw like whenever they would go out, they go do research down at the Blue Lagoon or something. They go down and then they go like snorkeling and then do research. And I sort of respected and admired that, because I am interested in the STEM field, and I love to see when they do have programs for women too, because honestly, when I do have my STEM classes, I don't see a lot of women participating. Also in Micronesia, I'm not sure if it's, I haven't met that many women inside the like engineering or STEM courses or whatever, but yeah, it was sort of nice to see programs like for exclusively for women. Sorry, I don't know if that answers the question, but yeah.
Yes, thank you. We love your rendition of the question. And yeah, it is nice to see different women in different fields, whether doing medicine, if they're, scientists. We've seen that Micronesian woman who just achieved something great, Nicole Yamase. Oh, that's so awesome. So it's nice to see all of us coming together in like diversified fields, if that makes sense. So yeah, she's a legend. And so basically, I think we're gonna go into the Micronesian stories. I'm not sure. Hold on 1 second. Sorry. I know that our sisters, maybe was saying that Bradley has a story to tell. So usually last time we were talking about it was a tricky story. Yeah. And so I don't want to say the name because I don't want to butcher it. I'm getting better at my tricky words, sorry.
It's okay, Britt. I can step in.
Okay,
before we
thank
open
you.
up the floor for our storytelling, we had a little time to tell Micronesian or a Chuukese folklore, right? And one of the that was told last session was the Nimwe story. You all know that one. I know, I see a smile from Harmony. But this time we would love to open the floor for our brother in this spot to tell the story, a different one.
Is that a go? Okay. Yeah, I just want to, okay, if you guys have been to Pohnpei or at least like know about Pohnpei, it's like, not, you guys know about Sukas Rock. It's very, it's like one of the most iconic spots on Pohnpei and one of the best views that you can get from Pohnpei. So I want to tell the story about Sukas Rock that I heard back in elementary school, I believe. Or was it kindergarten? Doesn't matter. It was a long time ago. And there are different versions of the story, but this is the one that I do remember. Okay, so long ago, before there, where the Sukas Rock stands, there used to be a geyser. And that geyser would occasionally like burst and then flood nearby villages, and it would cause it would wreak havoc, basically. So the islanders, they decided to request help from many magicians from all over Micronesia or all over the world, and then they would gather them, and then they used their magic to basically levitate a huge rock. And the name of the rock was Baibalap, which basically means great stone in Pohnpeian. But yeah, they used it to to basically plug the hole. And in a way, so even though they plugged the hole, there were still some there were still some crevices where the water could spurt, and then it would still flood the villages. So what they did was that they tossed in a ton of sponges, sponges into the holes, and then there are a lot around the base. That's why even if you go around the rock, there should be a lot of sponges around the area and in the water. So yeah.
Thank you, Bradley, for that story.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm moving to Pohnpei soon, so I'll have to look out for that.
Hey, go for it.
I have a question about the story.
Yes.
Is it the very iconic rock? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so I have another question. Is this the same as the Chicken Shit Mountain, or there's
Okay.
about this?
Yeah. So actually, that one's actually a different story, but can I also tell this story? It's very short, and basically most of the stories I did here, they were like very summarized versions. I would die to know what the full length story was, but basically during the Sautelor era, there was this one of the, I would say chief of, so on Pompeii we have like we have different municipalities, but then those ones are broken up into different areas. Yeah, they're called gosap. So basically, like the chiefs of each gosap, yeah, there are different chiefs. So one of the chiefs, he was from Palitir. So he had this ability to turn into a chicken. I don't know where he got the magic from, but yeah, he could turn into a giant chicken rooster. So what happened was he was on his way to fight Sautelor, basically, because he was terrorizing the entire island. So on his way on his battle, he started to feel heavy, so he decided to take a dump while he was flying. And that explains the chicken shit mountain. I don't know if there's an actual other name for it. I know the Pompeian one, but basically a lot of people call it chicken shit mountain. Yeah, it's always fun to talk about like the name and all that. Yeah.
Snaps.
You guys didn't hear me laughing, but I was laughing uncontrollably in the background because this is a running joke when we were kids, the chicken shit mountain. I'm not gonna go into it because I might offend a sibling that I have on here. So yeah, I guess we'll move on.
No, she did not. We shall move on.
That's the first time I heard of that story. So thank you for sharing it.
Thank you, Bradley, for those stories. I do want to share this bit of information, this broad information, and I know DeShawn already knows this, and Britt and Nillingus, they were at the last session, but basically, even Chucky stories are like that. They're super summarized. So my job is I get the stories and I exaggerate those stories, and then I tell them. Sometimes I make money off of telling those exaggerated stories. Because who would want to listen to those summaries, you know?
Sure.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Bradley, for sharing those stories. I wish there were like a book. There needs to be a book. I know there's a lot of books that people write, but a lot of them are very, I wouldn't say, like there's just different versions. So hopefully one day somebody can make a book of the actual stories and you can read it all. I know there are some, but if you want to put in the chat what the books that you read, the stories that you get from, I know a lot of them are not the exact version that we should get. And also, I forgot to mention in the beginning, if everybody can go ahead and type in your Instagram, whatever social holds that you want people to follow you on, you can put it in the chat so that we can all follow each other and continue as friends and everything. So yeah, I guess what we'll be moving on to is refresh my memory, Nels, and maybe what are we moving on to?
Yeah, before we go into our stories, our guest speakers, I just want to highlight, so thank you, Bradley, for saying that story. Summarized or not, we still appreciate it, right? Because it's coming from our people, from, our own folklore. This is one of the most important things about having a Micronesian dialogue floor or space, because we want to be the ones to write our own narratives. And that's so important because we are culture of reading books, writing, right? But originally we were oral culture. So we always just told stories and it changes over the generations. But now our kids, or us even, we read books and write. So now by having these spaces like this, we can tell our stories, your own story. Like, I'm gonna be a crazy ass ancestor. I just know that. And I'm gonna be writing my story in them journals, you know. And so by my kids, my grandkids reading that, they now know that that came from me. So spaces like this are an important place to hold those conversations, because it's our own narratives. And if you want to write a book, by all means, go ahead. But if you just want to say it from your own truth, okay? We don't need no white man writing your narrative. With that being said, I'm a little heated when it comes to that topic, but anyways, with that being said, we would love to open up the space for our guest speaker. And I would like to invite Miss Harmony to go first, if that's okay with her. But yes, go ahead.
Wait, what am I doing? Am I sharing a story? Because I do not know any stories.
No, sorry. It's just a space to open up for you to share who you are, what do you do, and how does it feel to be a Micronesian in your space that you take up, and also what is Miss Harmony, a Micronesian Chukis Yapese woman, doing in Tennessee? Okay,
cool. So before I start, I want to say that I really like what DeShawn said with the Trailblazer answer. I want to expand on that a little bit, just because I think most of us Micronesians, when we're born or like growing up, we have a path that's set for us. Like growing up, my parents or like everybody around me were saying like, oh, you're going to go to medical school, you're going to do all these things. And in my head growing up, and even when I got to college, I thought I will graduate, I will go to medical school and do everything that everybody's been telling me, or the path that I think is right for me, that everybody's been telling me to do. But then I chose a totally different path and went on to get my PhD instead of my MD. But I think the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it's very important for us to know what we want and follow what we want, instead of listening to our relatives or our family and doing things to make them proud. Like, I know we have so much pride in making our family proud, but it's very important to do your own thing and do things that make you happy, because it'll be your future. You have to be happy with your career choice and what you choose to do with your life. So that being said, it's fine, Mamie. So Mamie actually, when she invited me, she was like, we want you to talk about your journey in medical school. And I'm like, I'm not in medical school, FYI, but that's totally fine. So yes, my name is Harmony. I am from Chuk and Yap, and currently I'm a PhD student at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, in the Ecology and Evolutionary Biology department. So I am a woman in STEM from Micronesia. So that was also good, Bradley, that he brought up STEM, Micronesians in STEM. So my work, I study how traits of plants evolve on island and how that compares to mainland. So I go to Pohnpei, I collect my data, I meet a lot of people that work in conservation and a lot of people from conservation and agriculture. And they help me like collect data, and then I come back out to the university, analyze my data, and try to, get a degree off of what I'm doing from Pohnpei. And it's very hard for me to talk about what I do, especially when I go home. Like, I didn't realize how slow I was when I tried to communicate my science to people. I really don't know how to explain what I do in Chukis or in Yapese, it's very easy for me to just talk and go on a tangent about what I do in English, but it's so hard to say it, to explain it in Chukis or in any Micronesian language. But I'm just blabbering, but yeah, that's what I do. You guys can ask me questions about that. I don't really know where I'm going.
I have a question.
Thank you.
So thank you for, you're not blabbering, by the way. Own the space that you're in, sis. That chair looks comfortable. You're swinging left
is
and
very
right. I
comfortable.
appreciate. I have a question. How does that make you feel when you can try to communicate your work or what you're doing out in the States? And the other side of that question, I guess it's another question, is how do you feel about doing that and being, if you are the only Micronesian in that space?
Yes.
And thank you for being in STEM, period.
Well, at first it was very frustrating for me to be in this space because there's, like you guys said, there's not a lot of Micronesians in STEM or like in graduate school that I know of that are pursuing their PhD. So the struggles that I face are, I cannot really share them with anybody. And I'm really grateful for Nicole Yamase. She is also doing her PhD in marine biology. So like when I'm having anxiety or just struggling with my work, she's the only person that understands my deadlines or things that others won't really understand. Like my sister and my family, they're very, very supportive. I have the biggest support system, but it's so hard for them to understand my struggles when I share it because they don't really understand what, they don't know what the journey of getting your PhD is. Another thing that I struggled with was when I first moved to Knoxville, to Tennessee, I did not know any Micronesians. I did not know anybody. I moved here with a suitcase and a container of my stuff. I struggled a lot with not making friends, but just having a community. Like I really missed just feeling like other people could understand me. When I moved to Hawaii, from Chuuk to pursue my bachelor's degree, and I moved to Hawaii with my twin sisters. So even though that was a really hard thing, a really hard move, I had someone that was there with me. She was, she's a very strong person. When I'd cry, she'd yell at me to stop crying. But when I moved to Knoxville, it was so different. Like I could just cry because no one was there. It was just so hard to navigate the journey with just being by myself and not having a community. Usually when you are doing things, you have a community of international people, Micronesians. I did not have that at the university because I'm the only Micronesian there. So it was so hard to just talk about my science or even just talk about my culture and talk about myself. But I'm very thankful that happened because then I really learned a lot of things on my own. And I think I learned a lot about myself being out here alone and not having the support that I thought I would have with like other Micronesians. But and I'm very happy every time I hear that someone is going to STEM or someone is pursuing a degree in what I'm familiar with. It makes me really happy, and I'm very supportive of things like that. I don't know if I answered all the questions.
Yes, you did. But can I ask, before anyone else can ask another question, just to not get you off flow? Can I add up a question that maybe you can also relate to, like giving an advice to your younger self or your future self, or all of us here in this space? And that question is, like, the way you talk about your story, first of all, thank you for sharing that, is definitely like a breaking barriers moment, right? And we all break the barriers every day from doing whatever we're doing, or, for moving to a completely different place. So my question to you is, how does breaking barriers play out in your life? And you kind of answered that, but also, what is breaking barriers to you look like?
To me, I think it's just really doing, honestly, like I already said, I don't think you should follow what people tell you to do. It's just what you want to do. And even if it's so hard, just break that barrier. Go ahead and do whatever you want to do. So when I first started my PhD, a lot of my family and a lot of my friends were very, proud, which I understand. It's good to be, I'm grateful that they're proud of me, but it's very overwhelming. Like I got to the point where I'm like, what if I don't make this? I'm going to disappoint so many people. I'm going to be a failure. And DeShawn, you also brought this up about you not wanting, like, people don't usually like to talk about their failures. But I think it's very important to talk about your failures. You shouldn't be shy or embarrassed to share things like that. But going back to breaking barriers, I think it's just, to me, it really is just following what you want to do. Even if other people have done it, do it in your own unique way. Do not care about what people say or think of you. I used to really care about people's comments and what people think and say about me. But I'm at the point in life where I really just do not care. I don't have energy or time to care about what people say about me, honestly. And I said that I've learned so many things about me throughout my journey as a PhD student. And it also is me gaining confidence to, I was not really a confident person, but I think I'm a very confident person right now. And, just be confident in what you do and don't be shy. Don't listen to what people tell you to do or ask you to do. And I think just because, another thing I want to say is I was raised in a very particular way. My parents drilled education and Catholic in my head. That was what I learned growing up. And I think if you guys were to ask me a question today, or like 10 years ago, or even 4 years ago, and I answered it, I would answer it differently today. Like, so much has changed about me and about my views and my priorities just from even 4 years ago. And I think, and the reason why I say this is because you should not be afraid of change. You should not be afraid to go out of whatever your family or your people have been telling you is the right way. Question your faith if you need to. Question your path if you need to, and change and do whatever will make you happy. And I think that's a very important thing. I wish I had known this. I wish I had this in my head growing up. And yeah.
I just want to say thank you for sharing that. Phenomenal stuff.
Thank you.
You will be an inspiration, or you already are an inspiration to, if not us, so many other people who know you. So thank you for being who you are.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh.
We are called phenomenal Micronesian women for a reason. So sis, you stand today embodying that, and I appreciate that. Thank you for your advice.
Okay, so.
Okay, so thank you, Harmony, for sharing your story. We really love success stories. That's what I feel like inspires people the most. So we can go ahead and hear from Tsunami and your story. Unless did anyone have any other questions for Harmony?
I just wanted to say that was awesome and powerful. So 2 thumbs up.
Thank you.
Awesome. I'm loving the support in this environment. So we can go ahead and hear from Tsunami. She runs a jewelry business and her business is blowing up. She runs it with other powerful Micronesian women, her family, I think family and friends, right? And so you can go ahead and tell us more about your story. Go ahead.
My name is Tsunami. I'm Croatian in Philippines, born and raised here in Oahu. Yeah, but we have a new, I guess it's not really new, but a women's jewelry line. Me and my sister both run, Chantal. Yeah, I don't know where to start about it. It all just started with an idea, and it's been like the most powerful movement we've ever done right now. It's so fun. What else did I say? I really just like how we started Sienna was in Koshine, Sienna means different, unique, one of a kind. So we use that, and because everything we do, we're like, wow, so Sienna of you, wow, Sienna. We just all like, if it's a bunch of girls, it's like it's the loudest, most craziest like support group, but that's what helps us, all our energy. We all just feed off of each other. And like we just started with just like Serapain and Matan, because that's what me and my sister are, just things we know, and we've used it on all our friends, our Koshine cousins, our Pohnpeian cousins, and now it's just like more girls reach out to us like, oh, you guys should do Chuk, you should do Marshall Islands, you should do. So now it's just been this, yeah. I don't know what else to say.
Nels, can you go ahead and answer the question that you asked Harmony? Sorry, I kind of forgot.
Yeah, thank you, Tsunami, for being, first of all, for making beautiful jewelries. I wanted to ask, how does it feel to when people started reaching out to you like, oh, you should make this and that for this island? How did that make you and your sister feel? And how does the process work working with your sister and this support group that you talk about? Because it sounds very like empowering, and it's been big. It's a movement now, everybody knows Sienna. So how does that make you feel when people started reaching out to you? And how does this group work? Like, all these beautiful women.
How does it work? Oh, it's really just me and my sister, and we just like thought of like, we're always hanging around with all the girls all together. So we just like all like look at each other and like, what do we always like? We're all about all our little accessories and our little, and I like got the idea from like seeing like tene necklaces or wahine or women in different languages, and I was like, oh, I want one. But I was like, we need to why am I gonna wear another language? We need to get this on our language. And I love it because we wear it and people are like, oh, what does that mean? Oh, and they can't pronounce it, and we like correct them. And we're like, oh, matan, that means woman in my language. And it's just so like, and it goes deeper. Like we want people to question us, like, what are these words? Oh, I saw this other girl wearing that word. What does it mean? And it's great. And then now we all just like wear, even if you're not like Marshallese, or if you're not Fefin, or if you're not Likatu, we're all wearing it. It's like we can wear all the languages. We're all like sisters. It all means the same thing. Like we're all, yeah. But it feels great to have like girls from other, because really we just grew up with just our like who we know, our family, Koshines and Pohnpeians, but now like we have so much friends that are Chuki sisters. We have so many Marshallese friends. We have so much, yeah. It's nice. It makes us feel like we have so much more to do.
Creating jewelries for
I see all your
thank you. I really appreciate
the
that.
pendants.
Yeah,
I really like it. They're really cute.
thank you.
I'll be buying
I
some.
really appreciate that group work together, because it, like you said, how you were like working together is more powerful. I think you're embodying that in your work, in your everyday life, which is awesome. And I just want to also say that it's almost like the way you talk about your story, it's like you're building a community, but it's not only based in Oahu anymore. It's like it's an international thing now. So sis,
Yeah,
it's an international thing right now.
it's crazy. It's crazy. When I talked about it with my parents, they were like, what now? And then like I'm like, oh my gosh, Miss Marshall Islands is gonna wear, and they're like, what? And when I show them, they're like, you guys did that? I'm like, yeah, that's what we've been trying to tell you.
Yes, we love to see it. In your own story, where do you put breaking barriers in? Or where do you feel like in your stories you see a break of a barrier? with Sienna or with whatever you want to talk about that's relating to you. And also, what does breaking barriers mean to you?
Breaking barriers? Wait, so breaking barriers is like getting out of your comfort zone, right? Or
we want to hear your own definition.
I don't know. Okay, well, that's what I think. I think breaking barriers is breaking my comfort zone because well, I feel like I've definitely got way better with it because I really was such a I think I was so I think I'm shy, but everyone else tells me I'm not. But just going out and just talking to strangers and trying to like share our necklaces has been really like breaking barriers, and just like because I'm so worried about what people are gonna like say back. But really, like if I show how I realize that if I show that if how much I love it and how much it other people who are not like proud, I don't know. I'm just like going off now too. Yeah. What was I saying?
Don't listen to what people say. People will give you negative comments. People will say mean things. Those things don't matter, honestly.
Yeah, that's why when you said that.
So you can seriously be the richest person, come up with the best, the best thing that the world needs, and people will still talk shit about you. Like, people will always talk bad about you. They will always try to put you down, but you should just not listen. Just continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Exactly. They hated on Steve Jobs. They hated on Bill Gates. They hated on the guy who owns Amazon. And look at them, the billionaires.
I just wanted to say that was really awesome. Your story that you said about how you started your jewelry thing. That is a really inspiring story, and I'm pretty sure that whoever is out there, I'm pretty sure they can look to you and then see you as an inspiration, especially our young Micronesian women that are growing up right now. And if they saw things like these more often, they would probably be like, our community would grow so much, especially our women, and everything would just like be smooth sailing for our Micronesian community.
I agree. How does it feel to make your own jewelry? How does it make you feel to make it and then wear it?
I feel I feel like no one can tell me that I can't do anything when I walk around with my own thing that I make. That's how I really feel.
Damn, I feel badass. That
but it's great because the group of girls we were with, everyone's still like, we're the oldest. We're the two, like me and my sister are the older like two out there. So we show them how passionate we are, and then we share with them like our steps, and that we all will always support each other. If they have anything they ever want to do, we will all show up all in a group, all on point. And if we mess up, then we'll all mess up together and we all learn together. It was fun.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh my God, there's so many jewels dropped in this. And I'm so happy that we recorded it, because I might have to get my journal when I get home and just like jot some notes down. And yeah, don't tell me what to do, and working together.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Tsunami. I think Nels asked this to Harmony, but what would you say to other, whether it's young women, older women, any type of woman, or even just people in general who want to start their own business or whether or start implementing their own ideas, building something, what is some advice that you would give them?
I would probably say to not be afraid to fail, because that's how I really learned. I fail and then I'm like, oh no, like this will never, like I just messed up and I got all these people like relying on these, like they want these necklaces, and to not be afraid to fail, because that's how you're really gonna learn.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Thank you.
I can relate because I work in the financial industry, and honestly, before I wouldn't even be doing these types of things, like talking to people. I feel honored that a lot of people reach out to me and they ask me to do interviews, or they ask me like Nels or Mei, like, hey, can you join my podcast? All that stuff. Even Angela from For Micronesians by Micronesians. I just appreciate all of that. And it really goes to show that, like what Tsunami said, you need failure in order to learn from it. And so that's what I learned. I hated public speaking before. I hated talking to people, even if it's just face to face. I couldn't even look anybody in the eye. But yeah, honestly, growth, it has to involve failure. So I appreciate you guys for sharing your stories. It inspires me to think of, because what she was saying, Tsunami, is that she had an idea and she just went with it. And now it's an international thing, like Nell said. So thank you guys for inspiring our community in general. I just really love the energy that everybody inputs out there. So if anybody has any questions for them, you can go ahead and ask them. Don't all speak at once.
There's no
I-
question. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask Harmony, because I'm also aiming to like go for I'm currently in undergrad right now, and I'm also aiming for my master's and eventually my PhD. So I just want to what was it? What are some of your highlights, like going into your pursuit? It can be from going aiming for your PhD. It can be from your undergrad years, whatever. Just some of your highlights, because I feel like that's something that we need to always bring up to help us cope with COVID and everything.
For me, definitely is meeting people, and I'm just really learning about myself and learning learning that I can actually do things. As weird as that sounds, that really is it. Like I didn't think I'd come this far, but here I am. Like I didn't think I'd live in Tennessee with nobody, no family or anything, but here I am. From undergrad, I think would just be like traveling and doing research around the world. The mentors that I met in Hawaii and them helping me to get to Tennessee and to get to reach like what I was trying to get. Yeah, I think highlights is just really meeting people, networking, and doing what I actually want to do and learning that I can actually do what I want to do. If that
Thank
makes
you.
sense.
No, I relate totally, and I thank you for your response.
Okay, I guess I'll pass it on to Nels. I know she was going to say something. So yeah, we appreciate you guys for sharing your questions and answers.
Yeah, thank you, Britt. Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate this. In this cold weather, this makes my heart warm. I just want to say that I know that we, sometimes we feel pressured when people are like, oh, thank you for inspiring our community, or thank you for doing this, because we don't want to let anyone down, right? Or if we want to do something, we don't, excuse my French, we don't want to fuck up. And then we're like, oh my God, no, like that they should not be knowing that this. But honestly, I just appreciate that both of you ladies being here, and everybody in this group, like everybody has their own authenticity, and it's showing that in the life journey that you're taking right now. So even small changes, like Harmony said, change is good. Even small changes that you're doing to better yourself, it's still inspiring to you, to me, or to the next person. But I just want to say that the stories that were told in today's conversation are definitely, I think for me, I highlight a lot of different words that come out, or different themes that come up from the stories. And one of them is being your authentic self, doing what you got to do, getting an idea and act on it, and also keep breaking the barriers, which means keep owning the space that you're in, as we speak. So I just want to say, to close off what I have to say, thank you all for being here. You all are very, very inspiring, whether you know it or not. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining us here today. And that's pretty much all we have, unless anybody wants to add in anything. You can go ahead, but just letting you guys know, this podcast, this dialogue, actually, it will be on YouTube. So I'll upload the whole thing. It's very raw, unedited. I actually, yeah, I uploaded the last one. So we'll send the link out maybe sometime tomorrow, or by the end of the night. But yeah, we really appreciate you guys for joining us. This is what we need more of, talking about, women empowerment in our community, and just things that we can't really talk about with other ethnic groups or cultural groups. So first of all, thank you, Tsunami and Harmony, for sharing your stories. Thank you, DeShawn Bradley. Thank you, Nels. And Mimi, I think she had to go. She's such a busy woman. But we appreciate you guys for taking time out of your guys' busy schedule and joining us here today. So, Komagar and Kulo.
Well, thank you guys for having me. Thank you all for the conversations.
Thank you. That was my first Zoom chat. I think I'm going to do this with the girls now.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
We love to see it. Thank you all. If you have any questions, don't forget to link your socials in our chat. We'd love to connect with everybody.
Yeah, I just also wanted to say thank you guys for allowing me to participate, and thank you guys for allowing me to also listen to your guys' stories. And it was very inspirational, educational, and thank you guys.
Thank you, Bradley.
I'm gonna try and get the word out for the next one. I got Bradley here. So proud of that. Bradley's my bro. I love him so much. But yeah, I especially want to get a lot of my, I wanted to get a lot of my guy friends to hop on this. I had like 2 of them that were interested, but they couldn't make it, because I feel like this is not just an important, conversation to have with, like, women, but also with the male counterpart, because there's a lot that we need to learn about them too.
Yes, thank you so much for mentioning that. We'd love to see new faces the next dialogue. And this is to Tsunami and Harmony and to Bradley. This will be like ongoing month thing. Every 2 weeks of the month, we want to highlight the experiences of our people that are doing their own thing, breaking their barriers in their own life, and also sharing a little bit of stories here and there. We're all struggling with this whole pandemic situation, so we love to hear what our people are doing somewhere else, near or far. And it's experiences like this that is welcome on our Zoom that we would love to exchange and have a dialogue about. And I'm so sorry that I don't know if anybody didn't know if it was being recorded or not. But if it makes you feel any better, I'm gonna go on YouTube looking like this. So it's really and if
What
y'all
you
know
talking
me,
about? You looking good as hell.
right? I mean, you know what I mean. I could have just done this or whatever. But we're gonna be on YouTube together, holding hands virtually, and I hope that we were all aware that it's being recorded.
I guess we'll put that out next time. Yeah.
Yes.
I just was not aware it was gonna go on YouTube.
Don't worry, you guys deserve to be heard and to be seen. And these are conversations that we need to hear of more often. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. If you guys have any questions about the next dialogue, just message us at either of we have our personal Instagrams and we have our content creating Instagram. So we have Traveling Scotto, Micronesian Viral. Go ahead and follow our guests on their Instagrams too. And just message us for any details about anything. Or if you want to just chat, let us know. So we appreciate you guys.